Did anyone notice in 2019 the bombardment of unicorns literally everywhere? I hope you guys did, because maybe you saw it on cupcakes when you were going for maybe your niece's birthday. Maybe you saw it at the local supermarket or one of those big retail stores when you were buying Christmas gifts. Maybe you saw it on a TV commercial, popular music video. It's a cute little harmless unicorn trend. Of course not. It couldn't be, because the world has, since the beginning of time, ran on symbolism, and there are symbols for virtually everything. So why is it that in 2019 we didn't view this concept in the same light anymore? Perhaps we had too much brainwashing. We don't look at things for why they're trending, or is there a meaning behind it, or why it's constantly shoved in my face or constantly in my ear, why it's constantly in front of me. We need to constantly be aware of this, and that's what I want for our New Year's resolution and the Obasi Posse to really look at, to pay attention to the trends and really look and research why they're trending. Think outside the box. This is what I'm encouraging for all of you guys. So with that being said, I kind of want to jump into the background research I did in terms of unicorn symbolism, and why it's being shoved down our throats in this past year. So I've talked about Alice Bailey before. If you guys haven't seen any of my videos, there's a whole playlist regarding spirituality versus Satanism and stuff's around this esoteric type nature and different stuff like that. So be sure to look at my other videos. But Alice Bailey wrote in The Externalization of the Hierarchy that the New World Order, their future plans to enforce their new agenda upon the public, includes creating and vitalizing the New World Religion and the public inauguration of the system of invitation, which will involve the growth and comprehension of symbolism. Okay? It's written right here. So being that unicorns are supposedly rare, mystical, magical little creatures that are just lovely and happy and rainbows and flowers, if it's so rare and special, then why are we seeing it literally everywhere? Why? So let's look at what the unicorn symbol has represented for thousands of years. So let's take a quick step back. Just by Googling unicorn symbolism itself, anyone can quickly realize that the unicorn has been tied to the occult. So just as many of the elites and other various mainstream occultist symbols that they show in front of our faces on an everyday basis, whether the masses realize its meaning or not, especially within the New Age community where its satanic-rooted philosophies are pushed by the Lucius Publishing Company, or was previously known as Lucifer Trust, has become ever more popular among the masses. And this is what's happening with the unicorn, okay? So we see occultist symbols everywhere, on Wall Street, on everywhere, guys, in the media and in front of businesses. There's so many different symbols, and it's in front of our faces, and it still holds the same power whether you realize what the symbol means or not. And this is why you should look with eyes of discernment. This is why you should do your research. This is why you should do your own due diligence, because these symbols are here meaning their meanings nevertheless. So essentially, the unicorn is identified as a messiah who comes when the world is in danger and heralds the coming of a new and better age through destruction. Okay, so this is what I've been trying to explain in many of my previous videos about the new age, or the quote-unquote awakening, and I'm woke, and I'm so woke, and I can help you, and I know the answers to life. I'm so awakened. It's just all a hoax, and it's all an agenda for the New World Order to really be put in place, and it's the elite's goal, and you're just being fooled. And the elite's goal is the one world religion rooted in Satanism, okay? So even a unicorn appears on the Rothschild's family great coat of arms. So we can see it right here. Boom. Right here. And if we look into biblical prophecy, for example, the Bible does warn us that there will come a day of a new age promising peace and safety. But in reality, okay, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and shortly thereafter will only be destruction, and you will be fooled. And this is what I'm trying to kind of express through this video among other previous videos. And I'm still learning, and I don't say I know all the answers, and I'm humbly trying to put out this information, and I don't know everything. I'm just using this as a platform to learn together. So I want you guys to also keep that in mind if you're new to my channel. I'm not saying I know everything, and this is definitely the answer, and you have to listen to me. because I do appreciate the comments. A lot of you guys teach me things, and I can make those comments better for my next video. So I really like people who disagree with me or who can add on to things. And I'm a very open-minded person because I'm not attached to these philosophies. I'm not emotionally attached to them. I'm still trying to learn with you guys. So just keep that in mind. So moving forward, we also know that according to biblical scholars, that the unicorn was mentioned in the Bible through Alexander the Great. So if you guys look back into the book of Daniel, in chapter 8, the terminology they used to describe Alexander the Great is frighteningly similar to that of the Antichrist. Okay, so and in chapter 8, verse 5, the Bible describes the symbol of Alexander the Great as, I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west across the face of the whole earth without touching the ground, and the goat has a conspicuous and remarkable horn between his eyes. Okay, says it right there, describing a unicorn. Thus, scholars have known for a long time that one of the main symbols for the Antichrist is the unicorn. Keep this in mind. Antichrist, unicorn, unicorn, Antichrist. Let's roll with it. Because of this, the elite has been using the plethora of unicorn symbolism on literally everything to condition and control human behavior. So, if you guys are following along, let's look at maybe writings besides what was in the Bible. So Michael Rogue, the author of the New Age Spirituality, The Roots of the New Age Movement, states that the mysterious hieroglyphs were considered to be symbols of hidden knowledge, symbols and gestures that became a means of conveying secrets and truths. And also I mentioned this other book, Manly P. Hall, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. I definitely would grab it and read it. It's interesting. It describes the unicorn as being a symbol for the pineal gland, or the third eye, the all-seeing eye, if you will. And we know that the all-seeing eye does represent Lucifer, who gives occult enlightenment to its followers. Okay? So the horn is the pineal gland. The horn is the piercing eye, the all-seeing eye. Okay, and it could also symbolize something else, which I'll get to in a minute. Nancy Hathaway, an occult writer, also wrote in a book called The Unicorn that the unicorn here is once again a symbol of transformation. For this unicorn seeks a better world, which is very similar to what was written in biblical prophecy, through the purifying purgative powers of destruction. Its purpose, like that of the Hindu god Siva or Shiva, is to tear down and renew. So we can also look at, I talked about CERN a lot on different parts of my different videos. There is a Shiva statue in front of CERN, so take that for what you will. In The Living Unicorn, which is another book, it states in both European and Oriental traditions, the unicorn is identified with a Messiah who comes to the world when it's in danger and heralds the coming of a new and better age. So that's what I stated earlier before. I wanted to mention that again. So this also correlates to the biblical prophecy as well. Dr. Kathy Burns also states in the Masonic and Occult Symbols Illustrated book, quote, thus we see that the unicorn is, in reality, the symbol of a future conqueror who will bring peace to the earth. Who is that but the Antichrist, for whom the world waits, unaware of his true nature. Okay, stick with me here. For whom the world waits, unaware of his true nature. And this is exactly what's happening within the New Age movement. There are people following and claiming they're woke, and they feel like they got knowledge and new understanding within the different spiritual practices and philosophies and ideas, and they're unaware of where spirituality, this New Age philosophy, is really rooted in, which is Satanism. If you guys haven't seen my video, Spirituality versus Satanism, and I did one on astral travel, take a look at that, because it's written on a lot of writings, and if you guys are not Christian or religious by any means, I can totally respect that, and I use in all my videos different forms of facts, so different types of research. I use biblical research, and if you guys don't want to hear that, I use research from the occultist writers themselves who literally spell it out for you. So whichever way that you want to go, I respect it, but the facts are there nonetheless. So Maurice Bessy states in the Pictorial History of the Supernatural that in Celtic mythology and European folklore, a fabulous beast comes in the form of a horse, with a single spiraling horn growing from the center of its brow. And in alchemy, it is a symbol for the complete mastery of the phallic sexuality by ritual intercourse and its conversion into the forces of pure visualization. So this also kind of means that the unicorn horn is like a symbol for intercourse, like sex, which is kind of like paganism, because they worship sex essentially. So you got a lot of people in the elite also know, you guys hear about the trafficking and stuff with Epstein and all this stuff regarding sex. So this is why it's, a big thing. So in regards to this, we know that transgenderism as well has been a very controversial topic, not only this year, but for years, and it's trending worldwide, and you almost get like a knife to your throat if you talk about it in any derogatory sense. So much so that even there's a gender unicorn created by the Trans Student Educational Resources. Look at this picture right here. There's a unicorn to describe how you feel, whether or not you are a boy or a girl, biologically, and you can take it as you will. So in the dictionary of the esoteric, in alchemy, the unicorn was associated with the male, female, and or androgynous Mercury, and a motif indicating attainment of the great work. So as I mentioned before in previous videos, it kind of correlates to Baphomet, which is like a satanic god. It has both the male and female parts, as well as the goat legs, and they're trying to kind of transform the world into unity, which also correlates to unicorn. So you have your one world religion, you have your one world government. People are talking about the one world citizen. You have your one gender, a unification of genders. It's unification, unicorn. We can see the correlation here. So there's also a huge statue in Michigan, which is very close to me. I'm over here in Chicago, of Baphomet. And we can also consider that the teachings of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which, if you guys don't know from my previous videos, is a secretive occult society that helped lay the foundation in today's occult revival. So as stated by John Ankerberg, and I have also mentioned the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn in the previous videos, is what is described about the unicorn when advancing through the practicus ritual. Upon completing, you are given a title called Monocris de Astris, which means the unicorn from the stars. So once you complete this ritual in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, you basically obtain this title called Unicorn from the Stars. So this is really interesting because the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is completely rooted in satanic worship. So many of the practices and advancements and rituals have to do and all pertain to the New Age spiritual practices that many of the people who think they are awakened actually exercise today, like meditation and chakras and Buddhism. Stuff like this is all correlated and intertwined with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Bringing this video and this year to a closing, I sign off wishing everyone to stay vigilant in what is trending this year, and more importantly, why it's trending. We can see what's going on here with the unicorn, and we can see what's going on with the world. If we put all our knowledge together, everything kind of connects like a puzzle. So always look through eyes of discernment and use your own judgment rather than your conditioned and programmed judgment. I wonder what 2020 will bring us this year, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comments below. I know this can be very controversial, and please request that all the comments are respectful, and I welcome anyone who disagrees or has anything else to say. And I will see you guys next year in 2020 in my next